Rain fell steadily on the downtown streets that December evening. Thomas Bennett had just left his office tower. At 52, he'd built a software empire from nothing. His tailored coat kept out the cold, but it couldn't warm the emptiness he carried. 3 years since the divorce. 2 years since his daughter Emma moved to college. The penthouse apartment waited, silent and perfect. That's when he saw her. A young woman sat in a wheelchair outside the old train station. Maybe 25. Dark hair plastered to her face. No umbrella, no coat thick enough for this weather. She was crying, softly. The kind of crying that comes from being truly alone. Thomas slowed his steps. Other pedestrians rushed past, eager to escape the rain. But something made him stop. "Miss, are you all right?" She looked up, startled. Her eyes were red from crying. I'm fine. Please, don't worry about me." "You're sitting in the rain without proper shelter." Thomas knelt down, his expensive shoes soaking through. "That's not fine. I'm Thomas. What's your name?" "Rebecca," she whispered. "Rebecca Collins." "Rebecca, you're shivering. Do you have somewhere to go tonight?" Her silence was his answer. Thomas thought of his daughter. What if Emma needed help and no one stopped? "Come with me," he said gently. "Let me get you somewhere warm. Just for tonight. No strings attached. You have my word." Rebecca studied his face. Maybe she saw the genuine concern there. Maybe she was just too cold and tired to resist. "Okay," she finally said. Thomas's home was everything Rebecca had never known. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the glittering city. Modern art on the walls. A kitchen bigger than any apartment she'd shared with her mother before the accident, before everything fell apart. "The guest room is down this hall," Thomas said, pushing her wheelchair carefully. "There's a private bathroom." "I'll make us some hot tea." Rebecca couldn't speak. She just nodded. In the kitchen, Thomas moved with practiced ease. He'd learned to cook after the divorce. It had become meditation, a way to fill the quiet hours. Tonight, he made chamomile tea and heated leftover soup. When he brought the tray to the living room, Rebecca had changed into a warm robe he'd left out. She looked younger somehow, more fragile. "Thank you," she said. "You didn't have to do this." "Maybe not. But I wanted to." Thomas settled into the chair across from her. "If you don't mind me asking, what happened tonight?" The story came slowly. Rebecca had been studying nursing when a drunk driver changed everything. 6 months of recovery, medical bills that buried her family. Her mother worked herself sick trying to pay them, then passed away last spring. "I had a job at a call center," Rebecca said, "but they let me go last week. Budget cuts. I couldn't make rent. The landlord, he wasn't understanding." She looked down at her hands. "I sat outside that station trying to figure out where to go. I have cousins upstate, but I haven't talked to them in years. Too proud, I guess. Too ashamed." Thomas listened, really listened. He recognized that shame. After his divorce, he'd hidden in his work, too proud to admit he was drowning in loneliness. "Pride can be expensive," he said softly. "Trust me, I know. That first night became 2 nights. Then a week. Thomas discovered that having someone in the house changed everything. Morning coffee tasted better when shared. News programs were more interesting when you could discuss them with someone. Rebecca was bright, funny when she relaxed. She had a nursing degree but couldn't find work that accommodated her wheelchair. The rejections had worn her down, made her doubt her own worth. "You're incredibly capable," Thomas told her one evening. They were making dinner together, a routine they'd fallen into. "Any hospital would be lucky to have you." "They don't see it that way." Rebecca chopped vegetables with efficient precision. "They see the chair. They see liability and accommodation costs," Thomas frowned. "That's their loss." An idea had been forming in his mind. His company was expanding into healthcare software. They needed someone who understood medical workflows, patient needs, the real challenges of healthcare. "I have a proposition," he said, "and I want you to really think about it before answering." Rebecca looked up, curious. "I need a healthcare consultant. Someone to help develop our new medical record system. Good salary, work from home mostly. The position is real, Rebecca. I'm not inventing it out of charity." She was quiet for a long moment. "Why are you doing this?" "Really?" Thomas thought carefully. 3 years ago, my wife left. She said I'd become a machine, all business and no heart. I was angry at first. Then I realized she was right. He met Rebecca's eyes. My daughter went to college, and I was alone in this big apartment, and I had everything except what mattered. He gestured around them. All this success, and I was the poorest man I knew. Then I saw you in that rain, and something clicked. Maybe we both needed rescuing. Rebecca wiped her eyes. I'll take the job. On one condition. What's that? You let me pay rent. Fair market value. I won't be a charity case, Thomas. He smiled. Deal. 6 months later, everything had changed. Rebecca's healthcare software insights proved invaluable. The project was succeeding beyond expectations. She'd gained confidence, rebuilt her life. But more than that, the penthouse had become a home. Thomas looked forward to coming back each evening. They cooked together, watched old movies, talked about everything and nothing. Rebecca's laughter filled the spaces that had been hollow for so long. One spring evening, Emma came to visit. Thomas's daughter was home for summer break. She'd been skeptical about this arrangement at first, protective of her father. But within an hour of meeting Rebecca, her concerns melted away. Dad's different, Emma told Rebecca while Thomas made dinner. Happier. More like he used to be when I was little. He gave me my life back, Rebecca said simply. He saw me when everyone else looked away. Emma smiled. I think you did the same for him. That night, after Emma had gone to bed, Thomas and Rebecca sat on the balcony. The city sparkled below, full of life and possibility. I was thinking, Thomas said. This apartment has an extra wheelchair-accessible suite on the floor below. It just became available? Rebecca looked at him, understanding dawning. I know you want independence, Thomas continued. But maybe you don't have to go far. We make a good team. At work, sure, but also, he paused. Also at life. Rebecca reached for his hand. I'd like that, she said. I'd like that very much. They sat together as the stars came out. Two people who'd found each other on the darkest of nights. Sometimes kindness is just stopping when everyone else walks by. Sometimes home is the family you choose. And sometimes rescuing someone else is how you save yourself.